so we're just going to run through external rotation, PAILs and rails for the hip today. Alright, so with this exercise, you want to try and find like a table that's roughly around about your hip height, alright, or a little bit lower. Obviously I'm using my massage table at the moment, so that changes in height up and down, which is perfect for me. If you don't have it, you just may need to play around with a few different sort of table heights and or bench heights or anything that you can sort of find. Alright, what we're going to do is we're going to bring our leg up onto the table. Alright, so we're going into an external rotation position. Alright, from this position we essentially want to try and find a position that's comfortable. Alright, you may be up here. If that's the case, just have something that's a little bit lower, because we want the hip to be running roughly parallel to the ground. Alright, so for me I can get roughly parallel with this. Alright, then if we actually look at the way that our body's facing, we want our knee or our femur to be going directly straight in front of us. Alright, so we don't want it to be kicking out to the side, because then we're working abduction as well, but we want to really emphasize having our external rotation happening with the leg right out in front. Alright, if you are really tight through external rotation, you'll get like a big stretch going through the glute. Alright, so again, just play around with the height or how much external rotation you're getting. Alright, if you can only get that much external rotation, that's completely fine. Alright, we just want to work within your comfortable range. Once we're in this position, alright, down comfortably, femur going directly straight out in front of us. Alright, we're going to start our PAILs and rails contractions. So we want to sit in this position for a couple of minutes prior to starting. Alright, once you've sat in it for a couple of minutes, with the foot, we're going to imagine pushing the knee down towards the table. Alright, so applying a small amount of pressure with the knee going down towards the table, and then with the foot we're trying to kick the foot and scoop it through the table. So we're actually applying the force and forcing that foot to scoop all the way through. So we're working into internal rotation with this one, but what that's going to do is, being our PAILs contraction, it allows us to get a rails contraction that goes even deeper. So hold this one, slowly ramping up from about 20%, working your way up to about 100%. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, hitting each number in between so we're not hitting notches. Right? It's a nice smooth power curve going all the way up. When you get to the 100%, you should be shaking a little bit. Alright, so I'm starting to shake through my leg now as I'm holding it. Once you reach 100%, we hold that for around about 30 seconds. So it doesn't have to be exact, but roughly that sort of time frame. Then from that point, we then activate the opposite way. So we don't try and lift the knee necessarily up, but we're trying to lift that foot up off the table. And what you'll find is the foot won't actually leave the table, but you'll slowly sink deeper and deeper and deeper towards the table. Alright, don't let yourself fall into it, but keep that activation happening. So you're trying to lift that foot up and off the table, emphasizing an activation deep in the glute, and you'll feel a little bit happening in the adductors as well. Hold that for about 15 seconds and then relax. Alright, so that's one round of the PAILs and rails, and then we do it again a second time. So the second time, or the first time that we do it, we're actually building into a deeper range, and we're finding more of a neutral position where we can then work from a second time to lock in extra range and then even build a little bit beyond that. Alright, so the second time we activate again, pushing the knee down, pushing the foot down twice as hard, trying to scoop through the table. Alright, working our way up to 100%, 80 and 100. So we're holding there for about 30 seconds. Alright, you get a little bit of shaking, you feel a bit of fatigue, you might even get a little bit of cramping and things like that. Alright, that's all expected, that's what we're after. Alright, once you reach that 30-second mark, alright, we're then going to activate the opposite way. So pulling that foot and trying to lift it up off the table, getting activation to happen all through the adductor, all through the TFL, through the glutes, sorry. Continue to activate, holding for roughly 10 to 15 seconds, max activation, and slowly relaxing back down. You see, now in this position, my knee's almost onto the table. Alright, I've sunk into a little bit more external rotation, and this has not only given me extra range, but it's given me extra power and extra strength in that range of motion, which is what realistically we're after the most. Alright, the stronger you are in these ranges, the more you'll be able to use these ranges through exercise and activities.